Hey, I just want to jump on here to share this quick message I believe the Lord has laid upon my heart, and I think it will be helpful to those of you who will watch this video. So it is taken from 2 Kings chapter 4, and the story is about a widow who had two sons, and she approached the man of God, Elisha, to assist her. Now in chapter 4, verse 1, it says that when she saw Elisha, she said to him, "Your servant, my husband, is dead. You know your servant feared the Lord." There are important things right there in that verse, that first verse. It says your servant means he had a job. He took care of his wife and his sons. He was a provider. But as you continue to read that same verse, it says that the creditors, which is people that they owe, is coming to take her sons as bondmen. They are not coming to take his sons as servants, but as bondmen, meaning they're coming to take them as slaves, right? Because they have to repay the debt. Now, the husband had a status, right? Because he was a servant, he had a job, and it had to be a well-paying job in order to be able to take care of his wife and his two sons. She wasn't working, he was working, so he was a provider, so he had status, right? However, he did not plan for life after death, meaning he did not put things in place for that his wife and children would be able to maintain the debt service, the debt punctually, as well as have food to eat. Nothing. So they literally were living like daily, day to day. They didn't have anything to eat because that's what she said in that same verse, right? She said to him, that we have nothing to eat. The cupboard is empty, right? The house is empty. Actually, she said that in verse 2. Nevertheless, it goes to show that he had status, all right? But he wasn't quite successful, as we could see. Then we went on to see, in verse 2, Elijah asked her, "What shall I do for you? What do you want me to do for you? They tell me all the problems. What do you want me to do for you?" And he didn't even give her time to even answer that. It was like a rhetorical question, right? He then went on to ask her, "What do you have in your house?" And here's what she said: "I don't have anything except for a bottle of oil. I don't have anything except for a bottle of oil." You get that, right? Just like Jesse, when he went to Samuel, and Samuel asked him to bring his sons. Now, Jesse had 8 sons, and he took only 7 to meet the king, right? And because he saw his last son, David, as insignificant, have no value, have nothing to add, just like this woman, the widow, she saw that bottle of oil, no value, insignificant. They can't do anything with it. It's just a bottle of oil. Oh, it's just David. Leave him behind. Take these other 7 sons because they are qualified. They are everything for it. It's the same scenario. It's the same type of disdain or the same type of look down that happened with the bottle of oil, what happened with David. I just need to just bring that together so you could see how we devalue things because of how we view the status of it. All right? It's because we see David had no purpose, the bottle of oil have no purpose, no use, because that's what she said. Basically, I have nothing in my house except for a bottle of oil. I have nothing going on, in other words, right? So here's what Elijah said to her. He said, "Here's what. I know you have debt already." He didn't say it in his words, but obviously he knows because she told him. "So I know you have debt already, right? And you're owing. But yeah, what? We're going to borrow on top of that. Go and borrow vessels from all your neighbors. Empty vessels too, and not just full vessels. Empty vessels. And don't borrow a little bit. Borrow plenty on top of the debt you already have." So what that means is she'll have more debt. She didn't question him. She went and did just that. So she went by the neighbors and she borrowed all the vessels that she could have borrowed from the entire neighborhood, right? So that means she come back with plenty vessels. He said to her, Go inside. Take the vessels with you and your children. Close the door behind you. Work in privacy. When you shut your door, work in privacy. Shut off the noise, work in privacy. Don't let nobody come in and see you working. Work in privacy. You know, sometimes we hear this saying on social media where people say, I'm going to come off of social media and I'm going to go in hiding for 6 months. And when I come back out, I'm going to come back out fresh and strong and all of these different things. Same scenario. So she did just that. Right? She went in there and she worked in silence. What she did was she poured the bottle of oil into those vessels. And as fast as she was pouring it, her sons were moving the filled vessels aside and bringing the empty ones so she could keep pouring the oil. And the oil kept flowing. That one insignificant bottle of oil. That same bottle of oil that appeared to have no purpose. You can't do anything with a bottle of oil, with one bottle of oil in your house. What do you want me to do with it? You understand? It's the same thing with David. Insignificant. Appeared as though he had no purpose. And he was the same person, right? That we all know what he did. Right? So, let's go back to the story. She poured the oil. And the oil kept coming. Until there was no more vessels. And then he said to her, Elisha, he said to her, when you finish do all of that, I want you to now go pay off your debt. And whatever is remaining, you're going to live on it. So let me break that down. I already tell her what is happening. Create debt. But debt with a purpose. Right? Use debt to generate income. I skip a step. Use debt as an asset, which will then generate income for you. Use that income, clear off the debt first, and then live off of the profits. You see, we come from a culture whereby we borrow debt to fix our house, buy furniture, make it look nice, instant gratification things, right? Get that to buy a car, get that to go carnival, go fair to buy outfits, go in, get that for things that are not assets. A house is not an asset unless if you're using it to bring more money for you. I just need to put that out there. A car is not an asset unless if you're using it to bring back more money for you. The scripture clearly tells us, right? So I just need to stick that in because status tells us that we need to get a house and a car, and that makes us of high status. That's not success. Anyways, so borrow debt to turn into an asset. Use that asset to bring income for you. Use that income to clear your debt and then live off of what's left, which is the profits. And go and get the clothes that you need. Then go and get the new furniture in the house. Then go and get your hair done and all of these different things after you clear off your debt. Clearing off your debt is priority when you have that business. Now, point I'm trying to drive home here is the deceased husband. He had status, but he didn't have success. His wife had status because of who her husband was, and they didn't have success. Because she had to go and ask the man of God after she filled the bottles, the vessels with oil, what next to do. Because she didn't know what next to do. Status clouds our thinking, our judgment. We need instructions on what next to do. We are not problem solvers. We are not solution oriented on our own. We are solution oriented in an environment. But apart from that environment, we are not solution oriented and we are not problem solvers. That's what status does. It boxes us in. It keeps us bound. So Elijah had to tell her, after you feel go and sell it now. and clear off the debt, and this is what you do. So you have to give her step-by-step instructions on what to do. That's the difference between status and success. He showed her that status could only get you thus far. You understand? But with success, you can now live a life debt-free. And even if it's debt, it's good debt, meaning that you're using the debt to bring in more assets to be able also to create additional income for you. So don't let your status hinder you from achieving what your purpose is. Don't let status cause you to look down on things in your life as insignificant and has no purpose. Some of you, your status might be based upon whatever credentials you have and what job titles you had in the past, or what you have now, or what position you hold in certain organizations or institutions. And because of that, you're asking the Lord, I need some money. God, send some money now. When God said, I'm not going to send you any money, I already told you that what? I have given you the power to what? Create wealth. God gave you the power to create wealth. I already gave you the power to go and get the money. You still want me to come and give you the money? So if I give you the money now, it's a one-off thing. It's we call it a blessing, right? So we get a blessing, a financial blessing or financial breakthrough. And then what? Status causes us to only see the financial blessing. But when we operate under success that is given from God, be mindful. We find solutions and we do things with it and we generate, and it is recurring. The income is recurring, the wealth is recurring. God has given you power to create wealth. Because Elisha could have said, here, look, some money, go and clear up the debt. But he didn't. He gave her a tool, he gave her a strategy to bring in recurring income so they can live a life comfortable even after the debt is cleared off. Don't let status cloud your judgment and to look down on the things in your life that can actually be of great value to you and add value. Right now, there are a lot of you who have status in different places, but things aren't going well for you. Okay? I want to encourage you today to stop look down on the things in your life or people in your life based upon what it is as insignificant and have no purpose, and use that to be able to fulfill your calling, to fulfill your purpose, right? We are kingdom financiers, if you didn't know. We are kingdom people. Whenever you're in a situation, you need to ask God, how can I serve you and serve the people who you have made to serve me? You understand? It's a kingdom relationship. It's an ecosystem. We are kingdom financiers, right? Which means that our income, our wealth is used for the kingdom of God, right? To help one another, to build one another. It's not, when you keep it to yourself, it's selfish. When you're looking down on things, it's not right. All right? Because you can miss a blessing and miss a breakthrough because you're looking down on things. And that woman almost missed a blessing, almost missed a breakthrough, almost missed an opportunity. Same thing with Jesse, because they looked down on the little thing that seemed insignificant. So I hope this encourages you in some way or the other. And if you have any questions, message me. Have a good day.